Hey, good morning. I'm Nick from Define My Day, and I wanted to go live this morning to answer some questions that I've been getting through emails and that I've been seeing in our Facebook posts. I typically do this every so often, especially when I start to see some questions where there are a lot of the same questions. So a lot of people have the same questions, and rather than uh, try to answer each one individually, I thought maybe it would be good to do a video that would answer these questions so that people that even aren't asking the questions to me directly that have the same questions can also have them answered for them. So uh, let's get started. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I enjoy doing these. I always like to see the interaction that we can have with people and helping them get through the process or really any process where there's self improvement involved. It can be pretty overwhelming at times. So I appreciate you putting the effort into it, and I enjoy interacting with you. So thank you. So let's get into it. So one of the first questions one of the common questions I have, or common issues, I guess, that people have are about focus, and people want focus tips. And it's different for a lot of people. I know for myself, I had to experiment a lot with what kind of games I could play with myself in a way to kind of change my thinking and focus. So in this one email, Ember writes, "Thank you, Nick. I need focus tips. I need help with finishing what needs to be done. I get started, then something else gets my attention, and I don't get back to finishing the task. So thank you for your help." So I have experienced this myself, and I'm sure we all have to different degrees. And so we we have this thing that we know we want to finish, you know, and maybe it can be a lot of things. Like do we constantly not follow through? Are we in the habit of not following through on what we start? And you'll see, a lot of these gurus and guys online and women online that talk about, going deep rather than going wide. And that's sort of the way that we need to approach this. And that's exactly why I came up with Define My Day, is because a lot of people go very wide and they try to do a lot of things, but then they don't go deep and they don't finish what they start. So, it might be a project at work or a task at work. We have all these things, especially as a business owner. I have a million things I'd like to do. But what I've found is that you can take one really simple thing and go incredibly deep with it and accomplish a lot more than going incredibly wide. And, bringing it back to the home, like you might have a lot of projects around the house that just aren't finished. That paintbrush is still sitting there because you haven't finished painting the room. There's, the laundry's half done, or the projects outside are half done. So rather than have a lot of things that are not finished, we just need to pick that big task, that one priority, and go really deep on it. Or in the smaller areas, like so going to laundry, for instance, or the backyard project, get yourself to finish it before you move on to something else. So you say, look, I'm going to start this. I block myself this amount of time to finish it, and I'm going to go very deep. I'm going to finish this project before I move on to starting another one. And there's got to be balance here too. So a lot of people don't start projects because they know they don't have time to finish it. So then nothing gets started. So if you're on that side of things, then sometimes like just doing a little bit as you're moving from one thing to another can really help you with that. And you sort of have to blend it, right? There's a nuance to all of this. So I know I fall into really both camps. So I am, as that business owner, I want to do a lot of things, and it's taken me a long time to realize that I can just do one thing very well, and it has a much bigger impact than trying to do everything and then feeling overwhelmed. But I also understand that there's things that I can't really spend a ton of time doing, so I just need to do what little bit I can. So maybe you have to bucket those two types of things, the really high priority ones, and then the other things that we just need to kind of pick away at. So for me, cleaning my office, I can do a really great job every day cleaning my office, be really mindful. That doesn't come naturally to me. But what I can do is when I walk in my office, take a quick look around and see what's out of place and try to put that thing back rather than leave it there and say I'll get to it later when I have a half an hour to block off to really get into cleaning my office. So it's just a matter of like it's kind of just kind of blending those things. Now, there's a something that I do to finish my projects or to make sure I spend my time really focusing on what I need to do. It's kind of like if you've ever exercised and you try to push yourself to work that extra rep or that extra 5 minutes, I try to do the same thing with my priority or focus time. Like when I can start to feel my mind drifting or I start to feel like I'm running out of steam, then I say, look, it's 11:06 right now. I'm not going to quit until 11:10. I'm going to go till 11:10. I'm going to finish what I'm doing. I'm going to stay focused. I'm going to go. And I keep testing myself. I keep pushing that out just a little bit further to kind of work that mental muscle, that grit muscle, to keep myself pushing to finish the task that I'm currently on. Um, Cheryl, hey, good to see you. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate that you're on here with me. All right, so let's move on to the next question. I hope I hope that helped you out. I'm gonna shoot you an email with a link to this video, and if it didn't help you out, reply to my email. Let me know or comment on the video. Um, Lori says, "Where do I start?" And she also wants affirmation tips. All right, so where do you start? Just start writing. Just start writing. It's we a lot of people open up their Define My Day book, right? You got this book. You open it up and you're like, oh boy, there's a lot of things to do in here, right? There's not. It's really not that hard. And the problem is that it just looks overwhelming because you're not familiar with it. So you're sort of just stepping into the woods, right? And you just don't know which direction to go, and it's really foggy. But over time that fog lifts and that path comes clear, but it takes some work and it takes some getting used to. It's just like starting any task. Walking into the gym the first time, you don't know where all the equipment is, you don't know how to use all the equipment, but after a while you just become an expert. It's the same with doing anything, right? You just need to get into the routine. So where to start is, as far as what we've laid out for where you start, join the user group. It's a private user group for just people that have Define My Day. There's a lot of really good people in there that can help you. They're going through the same thing that you are. I guarantee it, and they'll help you move things along. We have a YouTube walkthrough where I walk you through all the different sections of Define My Day. There's also a website we have, learndmd.com. So technically, those are the places you start. But just start filling it in. You don't have to do everything correctly. You're going to find that what works for me doesn't work for you, and vice versa. And you're going to find that you grow and change as you go through this process. This process is very much about self-awareness. And what you do one week is going to be completely different than what you do the next as you learn how you react to things. Um, in the affirmations aspect of your question, affirmations for me are sort of me telling myself who I want to be in the moments to come. So my examples of affirmations, and my affirmations have changed over time, and I have half as many affirmations now than I used to, mainly because I'm trying to focus on these specific things. So number one is I am healthy. So I'm saying to myself, look, I'm not the most healthy person in the world, but I am every day. I'm trying to tell myself I am healthy, and I want to help myself make better, healthier decisions as I move forward, mentally, physically, in every regard. Right? It's always top of mind. It's why I'm always referencing the gym and that sort of thing because that's where I experience the most struggle myself. Um, I am disciplined with my actions and reactions. Again, I'm not, right? I'm not the most disciplined person with my reactions. I'm not the most disciplined person with my actions. But I'm telling myself every day, I am disciplined. I am disciplined. And when I find myself falling back on that, like not doing those things, I can tell myself I am disciplined with my actions and reactions. I show appreciation. Again, showing appreciation doesn't come naturally to me. I appreciate, I just don't quite express it. So that's something I show appreciation. I'm telling myself that's what I do. That's the person that that's who I want to be. I am centered. Again, I'm not reacting and I'm not falling off center. I stay on task. I help others. I do not take responsibility for other people's problems. Those two things. So I help others and I don't take responsibility for other people's problems, there's kind of a balance there, right? So I help others, in every way, like whether it's holding the door for somebody or going deep and trying to help somebody through a problem. Like that's something that I want to be more conscious of. And then I don't take responsibility for other people's problems is something that I've been becoming aware of myself in that like I really want, like, even when they don't want to fix their own problems, I really feel like I got to keep trying to help them or encourage them to fix their problems. And it's happened in many areas of my life, in business, personal, and even my relationship with my wife. And I'm trying to realize or understand like where that point is where, I can only offer so much encouragement and so much information, and where I just have to kind of let them go and hope they come back around. So that's kind of where I'm thinking there. And then I am ethical. And I think like everybody's ethics are kind of on a sliding scale, right? There's right and there's wrong, but there's a lot of gray area in between. And I think that, I am ethical is kind of that, like, I always want to feel like I'm on the right side of the decisions I make. Excuse me. Allergies, always kicking, always kicking. So those are my affirmations, but your affirmations might be completely different. It just depends on where you are in your life. Um, okay, so Jen says that she hasn't been able to utilize the planner yet, as it seems slightly overwhelming for me. Is there a step-by-step video or resources I can use? So the resources are learndmd.com. There's a YouTube walkthrough if you search for Define My Day online. Excuse me. The link is always or is also in the welcome emails we send you when you purchase Define My Day. And then the most important one, I think, is the user group. All the links are in there, but also there's a lot of really good people in there. And as far as it being overwhelming, just push through it. It's a process. It takes 5 minutes. It really takes very little bit amount of time to move forward with it. Just push yourself to go through it. Sorry, now I'm all sniffling. I have a little allergy attack right here. Let me see what's next. Okay, Kendra says I need a little help to stay focused on my craft room endeavors. I did reply to you in your in the email, but I'm gonna reply also here. Is that if you have like this thing, so she's doing a craft type thing, and you want to stay focused there. And this is with any task. I use these kind of tips at work. So if I sit down at my desk and say I block off from 8 until 10 o'clock in the morning, and I want to sit at my desk and I want to accomplish a task. And again, it could be needlepoint, it could be whatever I have to do, right? I try to identify before I sit down what's going to possibly take me off task. So there's certain things I just have to let go, right? There's those little things that kind of pick at me that I feel like I have to do that I know they're not as important as this one task. I kind of have to decide consciously to let those things go. I also have to set myself up for success. So I have to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I have to shut down my email. Even like when I came in to do this video, I told everybody in the house, look, guys, I'm going to go do a video, and I am not going to be available for the next half hour to an hour. So I've sort of set that up so that they're not going to be knocking on my door. I do the same thing when I sit at my desk to do work. Hey, guys, I'm going to be in my office for the next hour or 2 hours. Please, unless it's urgent, don't bother me unless it's an emergency, something like that. Do you guys need anything before I go into my office? You can do the same thing with your coworkers. Hey guys, I need some focus time right now. Please, give me until 11 o'clock. The craft room, maybe, some people like to listen to music while they're doing their task, but music with words a lot of times can distract you. I know for me it does. So I actually listen to more instrumental music if I want to listen to music. Instrumental music doesn't naturally appeal to me, but it works for me when I want to focus. It kind of drowns out noise that might be happening outside, a car driving by or something like that. It drowns that out, and I don't feel myself drifting toward that. Again, I turn off my email, so I'm not dinging. My phone's on Do Not Disturb, so it doesn't ding or light up or flash or show me, something that I don't want to get lost in. So setting yourself up for success by trying to block out, identifying what's going to distract you, and then block it out. And then again, I go back to that while I'm doing it and getting into that, trying to get into that deep focused work, when I feel myself wanting to give up or quit, I try to make myself push just a little bit longer to kind of develop that muscle to keep going. So Kendra, thank you. I appreciate that one. Diana, focus tips and how to be more appreciative. So focus tips, I think we hit pretty good. I think if anybody else has any ideas, let me know. And anything specific as far as focus, let me know, and I can get more into it. As far as how to be more appreciative, I actually think that is also all of these things are like thought patterns and ways that we learn how to think, whether we're taught through experiences or taught through what our parents taught us. I think a lot of people, I think the majority of the people out there get into bad habits or are just taught bad things from the very beginning. As far as appreciation is concerned, I think it's just a habit of taking the time to think about what there is to appreciate. I just listened to somebody a couple of weeks ago that said, every morning, just wake up and say thank you. Just say the words thank you, and it's a starting point. He said, but I guarantee everybody's going to walk out of this room, and there's not going to be a single person that does that for 3 weeks straight. You're not going to build that habit. You're not going to build that 21-day habit because you're going to walk out of here, you're going to do it for 2 days, and then you're never going to do it again. And it's absolutely true. It takes zero time. Think of the things we waste our time on every day, and we're in this habit of whatever, and it's bad for us maybe even, but we just do it because it comes naturally to us. We're wired that way. But something as simple as saying thank you every moment or every morning, we can't do it. We just can't continue to do it. So I think we need to be conscious of that. Whether we have a sign on the wall that says I appreciate ... and then you just fill in the blank as you're walking out of your room, right? God, I might even do that. That's a great idea. I'm glad I thought of it. So I'm gonna walk out of my room and say I appreciate ... right? Or it's why it's on the page with define my days, because I'm going through there. I want to actually stop and think. Like I try not to, and I catch myself doing it because I get into this habit and this routine of trying to get through it really quick. But I want to take the time to back off and say I appreciate, and sort of even picture it in your head for a split second. I appreciate my boys laughing. Or I appreciate the fact that I woke up today and I have the opportunity to improve. I appreciate warm days, crisp fall days, whatever your appreciation moment is, really kind of picture that and let it soak in for a minute and then move on to the next thing. But I think that we are really lucky, especially, where most of us are in life. No matter how bad the moment might be, overall we're in a pretty good place. So yeah, I think we all can find something to appreciate. Hey Anne, how are you? Thanks for joining me. Hi Aunt Joanne, good to see you. And Kathleen, good morning. I apologize for my sniffling. I'm so self-conscious about it right now. In fact, I'm going to mute for a second here. All right. All right, we are back on. We're on, and that is just technical. I love these emails. Do we have a Facebook page? Yes, we do. And I did reply to you, so good. Okay, Jade says, my husband and I love your journals and use them nightly. Awesome. They have brought us much closer. Oh, that is so cool. We added our own celebrations and accomplishments, or we added our own celebrations and accomplishments section. Very cool. And as well as how will I support my partner in his goals today? I would love to see those sections. That's a really great idea. We have to have a couples version of Define My Day. That's really cool. Thank you, Jade. Holly says, I have great intentions. I plan my day. Oh, I like this kind of thing. All right. I have great intentions. I plan my day. I have goals in mind. But when the day is busy, it's impossible to always keep my journal next to me and open for constant review. How do people stay on top of their action items throughout the day? That's actually a really good question. So for me, I used to Define My Day when it started used to be a sheet that I would print out every day on just regular printer paper, and I would fold it up and put it in my pocket. that actually worked really well for me. And it's funny because the book is actually harder to carry around because it's a little bit bigger, right? So, it's funny. Her question made me think of this. Rip out the page. I mean, maybe you keep a folder somewhere and you put the pages back in, but it should work for you. Like whatever Define My Day is, it should be something that helps you be more productive and focused. And so if you need to rip out the pages, rip out the page. And you can still write on the back of it at the end of the day. And then you can sort of, slip it back in there. Or if you have a folder or whatever you need to do, staple them together, whatever you need to do. So keep them top of mind that way. The other thing that I do is I use my phone as my calendar that synchronizes with Outlook, and I schedule my priorities. So on my day, it'll say, from 10 to 10:30 or 11:30 or whatever, priority one, and then I'll have everything in there, my notes as far as what I need to do for priority one. So I put it on my calendar, but ripping it out is perfectly fine too. It's only paper. It's only a book. So thank you for that question. But so the other thing I think that with this question is that it's good practice to keep things top of mind, right? It's being mindful. And that's part of this practice is that, you don't have to carry it with you, but you can keep it top of mind, or maybe you write yourself a little sticky note, or, stick it to your window in your car, or whatever might happen. Keep coming back to it and try to help yourself, keep that top of mind even when it, kind of starts floating away on you. I know when I don't do Define My Day every day, even when in the past when I've let it go for a week or longer, I can feel myself being completely unfocused. So that's I know the feeling in it, and it's I think it just takes practice. Okay, let's see what's going on in the Facebook comments. And I'm gonna sniffle for a minute while I'm doing that. Okay. Kathleen says, so I'm working through having to have the perfect environment to define my day journal. Yeah, which is a complete lie. Yes. So the perfect environment is impossible, but we can minimize risks or distractions. And the best laid plans, right? I mean, it's just we can't control all of it. Like every time you tell the universe or God, this is what I want, they're going to say, well, yeah, but I got this for you, right? I mean, it's just never going to work out perfectly, but we can try to control. There's complete control, and then there's complete chaos, and we have like this space right here where we can try to make our little bit of what this is and kind of make it ours. So we have to flow with it. What I found, and this is, I think, most clear for me, when I realized that, my kids wake up at 7:30 in the morning. After that, clients call, kids start, asking questions, doing their thing. So after 7:30 in the morning, anything can happen, right? A kid could wake up sick, a client could have an emergency. There's so many things that happen after that time. But the hours of 5 to 7:30 are completely calm. I mean, there's nothing going on. The only person at that point that matters is me, and I can do whatever I want. And so I tried to do whatever I could do between 5 and 7:30. I make that my time to do everything that I want to do for myself. And then no matter what, the rest of the day is the rest of the day. But I also fit in my work priorities, try to get them in before noon, because if I don't get them done, if I save them until the afternoon and an emergency comes up at any point in time, then I don't have time to do those priorities. But if I do my priorities first thing in the morning and an emergency comes up, then I probably had those priorities done. And if I can always circle back to those priorities if I have time at the end of the day. So it's kind of a first things first approach. Something is always going to come up. So when you have time, you have to utilize that time to take care of what you need to take care of. So what do I recommend? Simply get it on paper and move forward. Yes, I think that's exactly it. I think it's get it on paper. And I think it's that process of, a lot of times people say, I wrote down all these things and I didn't get any of them done and then I started to feel bad. Well, you need to readjust. You need to evaluate. Did I not get them done because I just didn't focus hard enough or I didn't try hard enough? There's things that I can do to change my environment, to change how I feel about it. Is that the problem? Or is the problem that I just plan to do too much? And I need to scale back my expectations. And I need to focus on this one thing today and get that done. And then I can move on to other things. That's why you've asked for a smaller 8x6 this size. Yeah. Yeah, so we need like a pocket version or something, right? Great tip. Thank you. 5x8. Yep. Uh, yeah, Kathleen, I think we all need to do a better job of being more intentional. I think it's a scale, and it's there's so many times I catch myself going, God, it's not this hard, but it is, and it's just like I need to take a time to step back. I need to take that little couple of seconds to think to myself, what should I be doing right now, and should I be doing what I'm doing right now? So yeah, absolutely. Okay, Trucker Wife. I love that name. Trucker Wife asks, I must admit I'm a little overwhelmed with the planner. I was delivered yesterday, so today is my actual first day. I'm getting started slowly. I can't think of what to put in the blanks, but I guess the more I get used to it, the easier it will become for my mind to get trained on focusing. Absolutely. That's exactly what we were talking about earlier. It's just a matter of getting started. Right now the train's in the station, and it's a big, heavy train, and we just need to start moving those wheels and getting it going. And it's once you get that momentum, it's a lot easier. But we need to get started and get rolling. So yes, just start writing, and then kind of evaluate. It's this process of awareness. Just try to evaluate what you really need to be doing, and what you need to adjust to make it work better for you. Um, Sandra, they haven't arrived yet, so don't know where to begin. Yeah, and hopefully they're there by now. Um, Tabitha, have everything I need, but getting a late start. Where do I actually begin? And we talked about that, right? So just pick the day that works best for you. I don't recommend starting the day you get it. I think that personally, I like Monday being the first day one. Some people like Sunday to be day one. But I think the end of the week review and the beginning of the week planning can happen Sunday night, and then Monday being the first day. That's the way I like it. Ooh, this is a tough one. Okay, so Sue asks, the thing I need help with the most is how do I stop comparing myself to others and always feeling like I come up short? That's a tough one, and I don't have the books that gave it away. So the book I read that helped me with that, and I read it twice the year that I read it, was The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F, right? So, how do you stop comparing yourself to others? I still do it. I wish I could say that I don't do it. I still do it. And it's frustrating and I hate myself. I don't want to say that, but I don't like it when I do it, right? And I think that you sort of have to understand that everybody's on their own journey. And, no matter what, and this really is starting to hit me as I get a little bit older, is that no matter what you have, everybody passes away the same, right? We all leave with nothing. Um, so I think that understanding and finding this acceptance that everybody is doing their own thing, and everybody has their own doubts and worries, and a lot of the people that are judging, that are giving other people a hard time, are most going through problems themselves. And it's easier for them to look at everybody else, what everybody else is doing wrong, rather than what they're doing wrong. And I kind of see that, in other people, the ones that seem the most put together and seem to be critical of the other ones that are not most put together are the ones that are really struggling themselves. So I try to look at things that way. It's not always easy. And I'm always thinking about what other people are judging me based on. I mean, look, who that has known me for 40 years is going to say, well, this guy's an expert on focus and self development, and who's this guy think he is? He's not the next Tony Robbins, right? I mean, I have those thoughts, and I'm not trying to be the next Tony Robbins, right? I'm just trying to help people gain a little bit of focus, and I know what's worked for me. So those are the things I have to keep telling myself. Like, I do know this stuff. I have doubts about this specific thing. No matter how many people tell me thank you, or you've really helped me, or this process has helped me. 100 people could say that, but one person says this is garbage, and I'm like, yeah, maybe it is, right? It's just it's the way the mind works, and I'm going through it the same way that you are, right? So I'm always comparing myself. I'm comparing the money that I have to everybody else. I'm comparing where I am in my own um, like my personal development, my own maturity levels. There's a lot of times I think to myself, God, I still feel like a kid. I'm in my mid 40s almost, and I feel like I'm a kid still. And then other times I feel like, some people say that I'm, more mature or whatever. So I mean, like, it's all a sliding scale, and it's all a matter of opinion. And in the end, none of it matters. None of it. All the garbage you just talked about for the last 2 minutes, none of it matters. What matters is that I enjoy where I am. I'm looking forward to the journey that I'm on, and I enjoy the people that are on it with me, right? That and that's, I think, focusing on my priorities and my main, like, life priorities. My priorities of, helping other people, of, my family. I think, and this is the big one, I think, that's really held me together through a lot of things, is that I'm here to develop my two boys to be great men. And that is what's keeping me kind of on the path that I'm on, even when everything else feels terrible. And so, even when I'm thinking about comparing myself to others, I can always come back to that and go, it doesn't matter. Like, this stuff, like what I have, or what this person thinks of me, or whatever, doesn't matter, because my main concern is developing two really good men. And none of that other stuff has anything to do with it. So why would I even waste my thoughts on it? I need to get back on task and worry about that. So it's hard. It's really hard. I think it takes, talk about being intentional. It takes daily focus and mindfulness to be aware of when we're starting to worry about what other people think, and then think to yourself, that's none of my business. I need to do what I need to do, because this is for me, not for them. Okay. So as far as coming up short, Sue, as far as a lot of times I see people that they try to do too much, and then they come up short, and they're sort of feeling bad for themselves. And the whole self doubt, like, so she says she doesn't really need motivation, more to get rid of self doubt. And I don't think there is, like, I don't think you can get rid of self doubt. I think you just need to overcome self doubt. I think that everybody has doubts. I think if you don't have doubt, you might be a narcissist, right? Or you might have, like, some issue going on. I think the people that are successful realize they have doubts, kind of put it away and compartmentalize it, and then go forward anyway, right? And that's, I've heard that described somewhere, and I can't place it, but that's like the real definition of courage, right? Courage isn't running into the flames, devil may care, kind of like, I'm just going to do this. Courage is like knowing that, like, I have doubts about this, right? I know that some serious harm could come to me. I know that people are going to think things about me, but I just need to go forward anyway. And that's real courage. And I think that we just need to be mindful of that, and press on. So, and then we get into the part about, as far as journaling, how not to overschedule your day. And I think that is the back and forth. I think it's the, did I schedule too much, or did I just not focus well enough, or did I let myself get distracted? So you have to kind of explore those questions for yourself. And you tend to expect too much of yourself in a 24-hour period. That is that level of awareness. You know that now, right? So how do we fix that? What's realistic? What's really important? What do we need to do to kind of take our foot off the gas a little bit, and realize that rest is important too, and taking time for yourself is important too. For me, that guilt comes from not utilizing my focus time well enough. My guilt comes from, it's not how much I got done or didn't get done, it's how well I used my time. So if I didn't use my time effectively, and I know that, even if I'm not consciously aware of it, that's when I start to feel guilty. But yeah, like, how do you not expect too much of yourself in a 24-hour period? You know, Look at where you're spending your time, and realize that, there's only so, you can only do so much. and you need time to rest. And you just have to evaluate and write down your feelings at the end of the day in that journaling section. Why didn't you get it done, and how did it make you feel, and how can you do it better tomorrow? And sometimes the answer is, I can't. I did enough, and that's okay. I just accidentally deleted Holly's email. Holly, I'm sorry. I'll have to get back to you personally. Hi, Nick. It's pretty cool that you have an email to read. I can't talk. It's pretty cool that you have an email to reach out to us. I bought a 3-pack, kept one, gave the other 2 to my partners. Okay, so your question is, why is it not a full month? So it's 28 days. Why is it not a full month? Because we want you to have routine. So if it was matched up with a month, so if it was 30 or 31 days, people would be inclined to wait until the first of the month, which may be a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever, and then they'd be starting the process then. I don't want you to wait until midweek or the beginning of the next month, which might be 3 weeks down the road. I want you to find the best routine day to start. So for me, that is a Monday. Day one for me is always a Monday. I know that no matter what. Day one of each week, day one of each book is a Monday. So I am going to start on the Monday and go from there. Now, if each book was 30 or 31 days, it would end on a midweek. It would end like Wednesday or Thursday. And then I would either have to wait to start my next book, which would break the chain, or I would then start the next book in midweek and my routine would be shifted. My planning, my review for the week, review for the end of the book would not be at the same time, which is usually Sunday night for me. And so it just, I want routine. I want you to know that day one is always going to be this day. It doesn't matter if it's a Wednesday for you, if it's a Monday or a Sunday, but you want the same time every month and week to be day one. And then it just kind of works out because there's always going to be 13 books every year, and that's just the way it works. Let's see. And Leslie says, thanks for reaching out to me. My life is happy, fulfilling, and moderately busy without setting goals. I have just had my books for a few days, but I already feel more focused and empowered to make more of my life. Awesome. I'm not sure yet how you can help me. Additionally, I'm going to need several weeks to get my new groove. Good. Hey, good. Okay, so this is actually a technical question about the book. So Carol asks, haven't received my planner yet. I ordered it last week. How long does it take to receive? So books normally ship the same day. If the orders come in afternoon, it'll usually ship the next day unless something goofy happens. Standard shipping or free shipping goes out medium mail, which can take some time, usually 2 to 8 business days. It's a big window. We don't have the opportunity to keep things in distribution centers the way Amazon does. And Amazon Prime is, it gets people into the habit of getting things next day or in 2 days. And unfortunately, we can't do that. We're at the mercy of the Postal Service. We do provide shipping information when we ship it out. But if something happens that it stalls someplace, bring it to our attention, because we have a couple people that have emailed us. It's gone like 3 weeks and it just kind of sits in a place and then it never goes anywhere after that. I don't know what happens to it. We don't see it very often. It happens, like 1 out of every 1,000 or 2 orders, but it does happen. So we want you to get what you ordered. If that does happen, let us know and we'll get back to you. Excuse me. Okay. I'm telling you, man, allergies killing me. It's been a rough year for me with allergies. I don't remember how to access the videos. I think they would help me organize everything. Okay, Tabitha, I can definitely send you a link to those. And the videos are on YouTube. Excuse me. The videos are on YouTube. If you search for Define My Day, you'll find them in there. It's the Define My Day walkthrough. They're also in the user group. If you are a member of the user group, there's a link in there. Okay, this is a response to the suggestion I gave somebody, so I'm going to respond to that personally. Okay. All right, cool. And this is one person saying they didn't get an answer to the questions yet. Yeah, we had a lot of emails to go through, so I'm sorry I didn't email back as quickly as I would have liked to, but we get a lot of questions from some of these emails. Okay. I see there are some people on the Facebook post. Looks like I got everybody there. Does anybody else have any questions? I can certainly answer more. Um, huh. Okay. Um, so I can answer any other questions you guys might have. I know we've been on for about 40 minutes. If you have any other questions, I can certainly answer them. Other than that, I don't have anything to discuss. I'm sorry, I'm like really distracted by my congestion right now. But I think we're good. Yeah? Okay. All right, good. Then I'm going to take off and get on with my Saturday, my weekend. So, like, I'll talk to you about like what my weekend is because we have had a question about what you do with Define My Day over the weekend. So I'll hit that one real quick. My focus isn't quite as detailed, right? My priorities aren't quite as detailed. A lot of times it's be healthy, so I remember, keep top of mind, still exercise, still eat well, and be mindful. But my priorities today: spend time with my boys, get stuff organized around the house, enjoy my time at home. So those are like your priorities don't always need to be get stuff done. It can be more, just try to make sure I'm mindful of what I need to be doing this weekend. And a lot of times it's just enjoying life. So don't think you need to skip the weekend with Define My Day, and don't think that you need to always be accomplishing things. That's not the point. So be mindful of that. But I'm happy that you're here with me. We're on Team Focus, and we're always trying to defeat team distraction. And distractions are all of the garbage that gets in the way of us being focused. So do everything that you can daily to stay on Team Focus. Um, AJ just popped up here. Um, Having questions or having difficulty distinguishing between goals, milestones, priorities, daily tasks, and disciplines. All right, so AJ, disciplines, I'll start there because that one's just kind of basically disciplines are habits. Those are the healthy habits that I'm going to accomplish every day. So for me, I can go through mine. I don't know where I just put my book. My disciplines. So for me, disciplines are going to be wake up on time. I drink 2 waters whenever I wake up. Meditate every morning. Do Define My Day every day. Um, I try to drink green tea once a day. So my disciplines are generally just the things that I want to develop into daily habits that I want to become part of me. So disciplines are just that daily routine type stuff. Like this is discipline. This is me being disciplined, being the person that I want to be. That's a discipline. Um, Goals, milestones, and priorities are basically just about the same thing. So your goals are that big place you want to be at the end of the journal, the end of that 4 weeks. Milestones are those things, they're kind of chunks of the goals. And then the priorities are anything that leads towards those milestones. So let me see if I can have a good example in mind. Sorry, I keep sniffling. I'm really self-conscious about this. Um, okay. Okay, here's a good one. So for me, my monthly goal this month is so I went to a conference last week. It was an email marketing conference, right? And they, try to make, help us make better emails for you guys. And so I want to my goal for the month is to utilize email marketing better, right? That doesn't mean sell you more crap on email. It's utilize it better so that I offer you more valuable emails. So that's kind of my goal, right? So then I set a milestone for the week. Um, implement the knowledge that I gained from this trip. So I take all my notes, right? So implement trip knowledge. And then day one is one of my priorities is copy all of my notes into a digital form. So I hand wrote my notes. I'm going to then take the best parts of my notes and put them into like action steps. And then through the week, I've implemented those action steps. I've created templates. I've come up with topics and things that I want to send out to customers and prospects. And so I'm implementing all of these tips over the week. And now next week, my milestone might be, check and see what my progress was like, see how they were received, come up with a new, learn from what I learned of that first week of what I did, and then implement some more changes through week two. And so all of the through the month, these 4 weeks, I'm going to be doing some things probably every week to implement my email better to interact with my customers. So for it could also be something personal at home. My goal might be to make the house look nicer. And so, each week I might pick, a floor of the house to do improvements on, and then maybe, day one is the bedroom, day two the priority might be the bathroom, day three the priority might be the basement. So it all kind of chunks out. If you have something like where health is a goal, if you have a goal in health, then it might be repetitive, right? So each milestone might be, I want to reach this weight, or I want 6 out of 7 days where I eat really healthy. I allow myself one break day, and then the priority each day might be, exercise or be healthy, and then it could be exercise, eat well, and be mindful. That's actually something that comes out of mine all the time. So like a priority very often is just be healthy. So it's all very personal, but the way you visualize it is that it's kind of like a pyramid, right? The very top is that overall goal. Here it's chunked down, and then the one day you're just trying to do a little piece of that whole big thing. And then daily tasks, the tasks are more just components of the priority. So like if you really want to do, if you have chunks in that priority, like to be healthy, you have components of that. Um, okay, good. Will there be a smaller version? I don't have any plans for a smaller version right now. We're kind of keeping it the way we are. What we might do in the near future is come up with a new color. We're going to kind of feel out how everybody's doing to do that. But all right, let's. I'm going to get going here because we're almost at 12 o'clock and I got to get my kid to soccer. Um, have a great day. Define your life, or define your day to define your life. Yay, team focus. Let's go. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care.